Hello there everyone, this is Felix from Felix the Dev, where coding is a lifestyle. And for those that are new to my channel, my name is Felix, and on this channel, I help people who are learning how to code and computer science students completing their degrees. So, what are we going to talk about today? Oh, and before I start, if you guys like content like this one to help you learning in your coding journey, and also as a computer science student in college, then subscribe to this channel. So let's get started. What are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to talk about skills that every computer science student should know. And these skills are some things that I've noticed through the years, through my experience as a computer science undergraduate, when I was a computer science undergraduate student a long time ago. And these tips are just things that I think, based on my experience, like I said, that can help you as a computer science student when entering the job market. So why should we talk about this? So when I was a computer science student about to graduate, right, undergraduate in my bachelor's degree, what happened was that when I was in the final years that I was going to graduate, I felt overwhelmed because there's a lot of technologies that you can learn when it comes to programming. And if you want to work as a software developer in the future when you graduate, there's a lot of things you can learn. So you can feel overwhelmed like I did because I had a solid knowledge of what I learned through the college degree, but every year something new always came out. You know, thanks to the use of technology and to the great advancements that we have in web development, front-end development, back-end development, mobile development, Swift development, which is for Apple devices, and all those kinds of things. These are just examples. Then a lot of tools used to come out. So you can feel, and they still do, also frameworks as well, such as React, Angular, etc. So I felt pretty overwhelmed. So here's some skills that I think that you as a computer science student should learn, and they will help you in some way when entering the job market, in my experience. So let's get started. Tip number one is learn how to use a version control tool. So what is a version control tool? A version control tool is something that software developers use, or users, to manage the code, to manage the development process of a code. So you can have the stages, how it looks, your code, different versions of it. That's why it's called version control. And you can keep track of how the project is going through time. And the great thing about these kinds of tools, is that you can use them with a lot of developers. And it can be in large teams. So these tools are very useful when it comes for a computer science student that is going to work in a company or organization that it has to do with coding. So if you're going to code every day, probably you're going to use a version control system. And some examples include Git and Mercurial. So my advice is pick one, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to learn the basics of it, and you're going to learn the commands and how to use that version control tool. You're going to learn what it is, what the value it adds to the software development community, and also learn how to use it to a deep level. So the best way to do this, in my experience, is to go ahead and invest the time in using this tool in your own projects. So for example, let's say you guys want to use Git, which is a very popular tool and is used by a lot of developers. So my advice is learn Git and use it to code your own projects, And even if you can use it with other classmates working on a side project, it'll be even better because you're going to have hands-on experience of how the tool works and how the tool adds value to the development of a software application, even though it's a side project. So my advice is to pick one and learn how to use it and use it a lot in your projects. And another thing you could do is upload the code, I said this on previous videos, to a platform such as GitHub. So this way you can add the code to your resume or your portfolio, which is the link to the repository in your resume or portfolio, which is great because when you start interviewing into job positions when you graduate, you're going to have tangible products of your work that you can show the interviewer. So I've said this in previous videos. So that's a way you can leverage that. You can leverage the time that you invest in learning Git and using it in your projects. And also the code you write can open doors for you. At least that's my opinion and experience in some way. So that's the first tip, guys. Learn how to use a version control tool and use it a lot. Practice it and use it in your projects. Oh, and before we get to the next one, another thing you could do is research because I know there's a lot of version control tools out there, and something that comes to mind is that you guys can go ahead and research on places that they post jobs, such as Indeed.com, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to search, let's say, the word Git, and even though it's a technology, it might come up in a lot of job postings. So you're going to put the country where you want to work in, or the state, right? Oh, sorry about that. And what you're going to do is you're going to research all the times that particular version control software or technology comes up. So, for example, if Git comes up the most, and this tip is for those of you guys and girls that don't know which one to choose. Maybe you want to use Git, that's fine. But if you still don't know which version control tool to use, then this is a great approach, because as you search the job postings that you would like and you see which technology comes up a lot, then you're going to see a pattern and you're going to see the technology that is most in demand for the position that you want. So, and the state or the country that you're going to work in. So this is going to help you increase the chances of having a version control tool in your tool belt that is going to help you land the job that you want, at least in my experience. So that's another thing that you guys could do. And tip number 2, guys. The second tip is learn how to make your code more efficient, or how to make your code efficient in the first place. And this is, when I say this, my advice is to really take the time, invest it into learning the essential concepts in your courses, such as data structures, as number 1, and number 2, analysis of algorithms. And on these courses, you're going to learn things such as time complexity, right, which is very important. And moreover, you're going to learn how to make adjustments in your code to make it run faster and perform at a higher level. So in terms of speed, that's what I'm trying to say here. So my advice is to really dominate these concepts and take the time invested to understand how they work and how to apply them to make your code more efficient. Or efficient in the first place, that's what I'm trying to say. To optimize your code. These are better words, I think. So why is this very important? Because when you start coding in the industry, right, you're going to make code that's going to be used by a lot of people. And when these large applications or large projects, right, they start growing and being used by a lot of people, what's going to happen is that they need to be in tip-top shape to be able to handle all those people and render a great service. So my advice is really understand how to make your code more efficient. So when you translate your code, you start writing code professionally, you're going to start at a place where you think in terms of efficiency, and it's going to translate in your code. So this is a great advice. I know that you may not be an expert at this point in your career as a student studying computer science, and that's okay. This is going to be a thing or a habit that you're going to develop through time, and you're going to get better at it. But at least now during the computer science degree is a great time to build a foundation. So my advice is take the time and invest it and really build a solid foundation on understanding how these concepts work, right? And how you can take your code from one type of complexity to another. So, and to make it more efficient, guys. So I think these are two skills or two tips, I would say, that are very important in my experience for a computer science student that is about to graduate and apply for jobs. So these are things that you should know. That's my advice. That's what I think, and my experience and my opinion. So there you have it, guys. Two tips that will help you know what to learn and what to master when entering the job market as a computer science student. So if you like this video, guys, you obtained any value, please hit the like button, the thumbs up button. Share this video with all your friends so we can help more and more computer science students over the world that need this knowledge. So share it with a friend. You never know, it might help them and might help them succeed in some way, shape, or form during their college, computer science college degree. Also, drop in the comments below what was your favorite tip, guys, and also tell me what are you doing to prepare when graduation time comes along as a computer science student. I would like to know. And if there's something that you can share to help other students, just put it right there in the comments as well. Also, guys, before I leave, I wrote a blog article on this topic. So if you will like it, if you would like to read it, it's going to be on the link, the description of this video. You're going to see it. And remember, guys, don't forget to subscribe because I'm posting videos constantly on a regular basis every week or so, once every week, that is going to help you like this, to help you succeed as a computer science student in college, or even as a person who's learning how to code, who's there in their beginning steps of the coding journey. So I hope this helps, guys. These helped me when I was a computer science student, a bachelor's degree a long time ago. And also, now that I'm a professional software developer, I've seen these skills. So, and I will think, reflecting, going back, so those are things that I will tell like my past self. Sometimes some I knew, but I really want to communicate this knowledge with you guys to help you guys. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share with a friend, and I will see you on the next video, guys and gals. Have a great week. This was Felix from Felix at Dev, where coding is a lifestyle, guys. Have a great week and keep acing those courses in your computer science classes or your classes in college. See you later. Take care.